The first Cash Cup of Chapter 5 Season 3 is over, and this meta is just as chaotic as we ever could have imagined it being, with a single weapon potentially being more OP than the Grim Gate Medallion was last season, and it's also starting to create some drama on the NA region. And in this video, I'm going to recap the first Duos Cash Cup of the season, and talk about how the EU players who moved to NA did, and some other storylines from yesterday, so let's get right into the video. Firstly, I want to talk about EU and winning the first EU Duo Cash Cup of the season. We have Chapentini on 364 points. The team who got second place in FNCS Grand Finals last season on EU wins the first Cash Cup of the season, and Chapentini did it at landing none other than the Nitrodrome and getting the Mythic boombo in the Infinite Ammo Medallion, and they win 2 games en route to their victory. And all I can say is if they stay uncontested at the Nitrodrome this season, they're definitely going to be the favorites on EU heading into FNCS, because the combo of the Infinite Ammo Medallion and the Mythic Boombo might be the most broken thing ever put in the game. It actually started a debate with some people saying it's more broken than the Grim Gate Medallion, and that it's more game breaking because you can shoot at everybody in the lobby, whereas the Grim Gate Medallion kind of minded its own business and really was just used to take height. But with the Mythic Boombo, you can just use it and shoot at everybody and grief everybody and anybody you want. So I 100% do think if Chapentini do end up getting this POI uncon in FNCS, they are the for sure favorites on EU this season. And then next in second place, we have CZB and Nathan on 295 points. And then in third place, we have Ping and Walks on 292 points, who actually only got to play 5 games. And if they had gotten to play 6 games, could have maybe potentially won. But nonetheless, a third place with only 5 games played is pretty crazy. And then in fourth place, we have Pradage and Radion on 282 points. And then rounding out the top 5 on EU, we have Prism and Kasparinovic on 278 points. A pretty big storyline that we're going to be seeing on EU this season, we have Swizzy and Vanyak and Malabuka and Merstash contesting each other. Both of the FNCS winners from this chapter on EU, and they're going to be contesting each other at the Red Line Rig this season. And what makes this a little bit weird and awkward is that Malabuka and Merstash and Swizzy are all on Carmine Corp and are going to be playing ESL together. So I don't know if that's going to make ESL a bit weird for them since they're contesting each other and griefing each other. And all 4 of these players happen to be pretty good friends, I believe. So this is just one of those weird situations where friends end up contesting each other. But this is a huge storyline going into the rest of the season because this is the Chapter 5 Season 1 and Chapter 5 Season 2 FNCS winners on EU contesting each other. And in their first battle, Swizzy gets the upper hand, finishing 10th, and Merstash and Malabuka end up finishing 22nd. But now I want to move on to the NA recap, and in first place we have Batman, Booga, and Rapid on 342 points. Their average placement was insane, getting top 7 in 5 of the 6 games. And then next in second, we have Aviv and Booga back as a duo, and in their first Cash Cup, they get 329 points and get second while contested. I'm really glad Aviv and Booga were back. They got third place in FNCS Grand Finals in Chapter 5 Season 1, and then Booga decided to split with Aviv to play with Agers, and it didn't work out, and now they're back, and I'm actually glad they're back. And in their first Cash Cup, they're back right where they left off with a really good Cash Cup placement. And then in third and fourth place is when we start to get into some of the drama. Skittles and Kanata finished third place on 317 points. And no, this is not a real duo. Cooper was on vacation in Hawaii, and Skittles doesn't have a duo, so Kanata and Skittles are queuing up for this week only. And they finished in third place on 317 points. And they actually were getting fought by Peterbot and Poyo pretty much every single game in the Cash Cup. After game 1, Peterbot and Poyo died early, and then after that, Peterbot and Poyo would get their medallion and their Mythic AR at the Red Line Rig, and then instantly key to the Nitrodrome and try to fight Kanata and Skittles for the Mythic Boombo. And in game 2, Kanata and Skittles actually killed Peterbot and Poyo and started talking a lot of trash. And then after that, Peterbot and Poyo basically just turned up the gear of the grief and decided to fully grief Kanata and Skittles and actually killed them 2 straight games after that. But nonetheless, Skittles and Kanata still placed third place. And in fourth place, we have the reigning FNCS champions, Peterbot and Poyo, on 296 points with 2 wins. The Mythic Boombo ended up winning 3 of the 6 matches on NA yesterday. And it also won the tournament on EU. And I think we're about to see some Grim Gate Medallion level domination if we see the Mythic Boombo uncon in these 2 regions this season. And rounding out the top 5 on NA, we have Kylie and Vert in 5th place on 294 points. Kylie, the best placing EU player on NA in his first Cash Cup, and to be honest, the only one that placed good at all. Kylie showing off for EU and going strong and getting top 5 in his first Cash Cup, while contested at that. And I'm not gonna lie, this is a bit of an unexpected placement for me. I didn't really think they were gonna be this good. and to see them do better than Iamzo and Tayson and Vino and Clix uncontested is kind of crazy. And speaking of those two duos, it was a pretty rough tournament for both Tayson and Iamzo and Clix and Vino. Tayson and Iamzo ended up finishing 18th in their first NA Cash Cup together, and Clix and Vino ended up placing 22nd in their first NA Cash Cup together. And it was actually looking really good for Clix and Vino. Clix ended up solo clutching a little win in the first game, and to be honest, right after that, that's when the tournament ended for them. They didn't really do much after that. And then Tayson and Iamzo just never really got anything going all tournament long. And it's weird to see because both of these teams were uncon, and Tayson and Vino, when they're uncon, normally do very well. I mean, potentially NA is just that much harder than EU. But at the end of the day, all trolls aside, this is one of the craziest metas ever. And the ways your match can just get ended are kind of insane. But overall in this Cash Cup, we saw what the Mythic boombo can do when somebody has it uncontested or when somebody just gets it for free. And I'm not gonna lie, it actually might be more OP than the Grim Gate Medallion to me personally. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys think the Mythic boombo and the Infinite Ammo Medallion are a better combination than the Grim Gate Medallion. When you have the Mythic boombo, you basically control everything around you. You can spam anybody you want and grief them. You can spam height at any time you want and grief them and take height. And then you can just spam low ground when you're on height and end game. And every time somebody wins with the Mythic boombo, it doesn't even look like they're trying. You're basically just jumping up and down over and over again, shooting over your floor, and you're just getting free damage and free eliminations on low ground to people that aren't even shooting back at you. But overall, here's a little recap of how the EU players did in their first Cash Cup. We have Kylie playing with Vert leading the charge, getting 5th, Tayson with Iamzo getting 18th, Vino with Clix getting 22nd, Mongo and Mr. Savage sadly did not qualify to the Cash Cup after getting a bug that basically made them not qualify. And Mongo and Mr. Savage were actually popping off in opens, and it kind of sucks to see that they ended up not qualing. And then Yapko, who was playing with Kwani, also did not qualify. And then Paco, who was playing with Pump, also did not qualify as well. And then we have Pink, who was supposed to play with Mero, but Mero actually ended up not playing because he had something come up. And then lastly, Mixon and Blaha also did not play because I believe they were not in NA yet, so they should be playing in the next Cash Cup. So we should have the full fleet of EU players on NA next Cash Cup, with Pink playing with Mero and Mixon and Blaha. Let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on the EU performances in the first Cash Cup on NA. And also let me know down in the comments your thoughts on Iamzo and Tayson and Vino and Clix's first tournaments as duos. I'm actually pretty disappointed in both of them. They were both uncon. Clix got the forecast tower multiple times, and Iamzo and Tayson are mid-map uncontested. So I'm honestly quite disappointed in how they played. But let me know down in the comments how you feel. And as always, if you guys are new or a returning viewer to my videos, make sure to subscribe to never miss out on any tournament recaps or any news within Fortnite Competitive itself. So make sure to subscribe to always be caught up to date on Fortnite Competitive. And if you guys did enjoy this video talking about the first duos Cash Cup of the season and some of the storylines we had within it, it would mean a lot if you dropped a like on this video, as it would help it get pushed out to more people. I think this season is definitely more entertaining to watch than last season, and I think it's always like that when you do have a mobility meta. And even with this meta having the Fist and the Nitro in it, as a viewer, it is very entertaining to watch. But yes, I do think there definitely needs to be nerfs done to the Nitro Fist and to the Nitro itself. And if that happens, I think this could be a very good season. So hopefully we do see some changes. But regardless, I did enjoy this Cash Cup, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well if you watched. And if you guys stopped by the stream, thank you all for the support. That's going to do it for me in this video, guys. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.